What up, YouTube? It's your boy Charles Enoch. You already know we back with another Invest in Myself episode. So run the intro. So today I want to go over how to choose which credit card to pay off first when you're doing velocity banking. But before we dive in, you already know your boy got to do the YouTube thing. So your boy's close to being monetized. So I'm gonna ask you guys, help a brother out. So go ahead, smash that like button, make that thing turn blue. If you're new to the channel, or if you've seen a couple of my videos and just haven't done so yet, take a little bit of time, hit that subscribe button for me, and share this video with anybody you feel that will help them. Also, if you don't mind, leave a comment, leave some feedback about the video. This just does help me out. I appreciate everybody that takes a little time to do all of these things because it helps me reach a higher audience base. All right, so I've been getting a couple emails from a few people asking me, hey, which credit card should I start paying off first? And the answer really depends on the balance of the credit card in combination with the interest being charged on that credit card. Since credit cards charge simple interest, we must first figure out how much interest is truly being charged on each credit card. And then in most situations, we're going to tackle the credit card that is charging us the most interest. So what we would do is use the velocity banking method. We're pretty much going to put all our income onto the credit card, which reduces the interest, and then we would pay our expenses using our credit card. So I know this may sound complicated, but you guys already know I got the whiteboard in the back. So let's break this thing down. Come on. All right, so we're at the whiteboard. You already know we get down to business here. So we have an individual. We're going to say that their income is $4,400 per month. Their expenses are going to be $4,000. Part of their expenses is going to be rent, which is going to be $1,800 a month. So they're going to be left with a cash flow of $400. Now they have two credit cards and they want to figure out which credit card they want to start using the velocity banking method on. So we have credit card one. It's going to have $15,000 on it. It's going to have a 15% interest rate. Now credit card number two is going to have $10,000 on it, but it's going to have a 25% interest rate. Now I'm just going to make it simple here. Credit card one and credit card two, the minimum payment this individual has to pay on the credit card is going to be $150 every single month. Now we're going to take a look and see which credit card we should be paying off first. So we're going to go up here and we're going to see credit card one. To calculate the simple interest, this is the method of what you do here. So for credit card one, we have $15,000. We're going to times that by the 15% interest rate. So that's going to be 0.15. We're going to divide that by 12 because there's 12 months in a year. And we're going to get $187.50 that is applied towards the interest on the credit card. So for credit card two, we're pretty much doing the same thing. So we see that there's $10,000. We're going to times that by that 25% interest, which is 0.25, divide that by 12. And what we're going to see here is going to be $208.33. So what we're particularly going to do, we're actually going to knock out credit card number two, because credit card number two is charging us a lot more interest than credit card number one. Well, not a lot more. It's charging us more interest than credit card number one. So we're on the other side of the board. We figured out which credit card we're going to pay off first and apply the velocity banking method here. So what we're particularly going to be doing here is outlining the velocity banking method, and we're going to be showing our true cash flow in regards to the interest that is going to be coming out of the card when we apply the velocity banking method here. So for step one, we're going to first pay our rent up to $1,800. And then after that, we're going to put the minimum payment on credit card number one, which is $150. So we have spent $1,950 of our $4,400 income. So for step 2, what we're going to do, we're going to put the rest of the income onto credit card 2, which is going to be our $2,450. Now, this is going to leave the balance on the credit card number 2 of $7,550. Because remember, credit card number 2 had a $10,000 balance, but when we put that $2,450 on there, then it's going to leave that balance on there. So step 3, we're going to pay all other expenses with credit card number 2. Now our expenses is $4,000, and this includes the rent and it includes the $150 for the credit card here. So the rest of our expenses are going to be $2,050. So what we're going to do, we're going to put part of that $2,450 that we put into our credit card, and then we're going to pay the $2,050 onto our expenses. This is going to particularly leave us with a cash flow of $400, because $400 is going to be left on the credit card here. So pretty much what we did was we paid our rent and our credit card with cash, because most of the time you're going to have to pay your rent with the cash or a check, and your credit card, you're going to have to use cash to pay your credit card. Once we did that, we put the remainder balance onto credit card number 2. So all of our income, the rest of our income went to credit card number 2. Then that's when we use our credit card to pay all the rest of our expenses, utilities, whatever the case may be. Step 4, so the balance on the credit card 2 is going to be $9,600, because remember, we had to pay our expenses out of that credit card. So even though we shoved half of our income in there, we pretty much had to use it because we had to pay our expenses. And remember, our cash flow is $400. So $10,000 minus $400 is $9,600. Now let's find the true cash flow in regards to how much the credit card is going to charge for interest. Since we're not paying the credit card in full, it's going to be charging us interest. Now we know that simple interest is applied daily. So what we're going to do, we're going to pretend that half the time the credit card balance was $7,550 and the other half of the time was $9,600. So let's see how much we were charged per day in interest. So when we shove that income in there, we're going to assume that half the time of the month, 15 days, it was $7,550. So we're going to do the simple interest equation here. So $7,550 times 0.25, which is the interest rate on credit card number 2. We're going to divide it by 365 days, because there's 365 days in a year. So we're going to get $5.17 per day is how much it is charging us. Now, when we had to use our credit card and pay the expenses, then our credit card balance is eventually going to be $9,600. And again, we're just going to assume that that's going to be for the other half of the month. So we're going to do 9,600 times 0.25 divided by 365, because 365 days in a year. We're going to get $6.57 per day it's charging us when there's a balance on there. Now we do have to remember that it's not going to be 15 days of that balance and 15 days of that balance, because whenever you start swiping your card, let's say you had to pay an electricity bill and it was $200, then it would be $200 more. You would do that simple interest equation for how many ever days when you have that balance, and then something else gets charged and something else gets charged. But again, we're just going to be taking the average, and we're just going to use these two balances to try to figure out what our true cash flow is. So what we're going to be doing here, we're taking $5.17, we're going to times that by 15 days, pretty much half the month. We're going to get $77.56. Now we're going to take the other $6.57 per day, times that by 15, we're going to get $98.55. So this means that the credit card is charging us $176.11 in interest. So we're going to take our cash flow, which is the $400, we're going to minus that by the interest that they took out for the credit card, which is $176.11. So our true cash flow is $223.89. So we're pretty much going to be knocking out credit card number 2. You can use this calculation to know what your true cash flow is every single month, and know that it's going to change, because when you apply $223.89, then you're going to be using this simple interest equation on a lower number. So you're increasing your cash flow every single month you're using this method. And then once you get credit card number 2 knocked out the way, then you would apply credit card number 1 and get that thing knocked out. So again, these are 5 simple steps. We know the equation to figure out which credit card you should be paying off first based on the balance and the interest rate. And then once you do that, you can use a velocity banking method such as this by putting all your income into the credit card, lowering the interest, and then use your credit card to pay your expenses. Again, if you like the video, remember to hit that like button for me. And if you're new to the channel, definitely hit that subscribe button for me. Also leave a comment if there's anything that you guys want me to talk about, definitely do so. If you want a different equation, or this was maybe unrealistic or anything of that nature, please leave a comment down below. It does help me. And like always, you guys have a good weekend. Peace out.